Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
I'm pulling up the screen myself. Here we go. Scion actual play. All right.
Where is it R?
Yeah, it's the Onyx Path YouTube channel.
Okay. Back to YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. To everyone listening out there, welcome. My name is Neall Raemonn Price. I'm the lead developer for Scion 2nd Edition. I say lead developer because I'm not the sole developer. There's plenty of other developers, some of whom are on this call and who will be no doubt judging me harshly for my running of the game. And so we're just going to go down the list and introduce one ourselves. Rich, you want to just kind of introduce yourself to everyone in case they don't know who you are?
Hey, everybody. I'm Rich Thomas, and I am the founder and creative director of Onyx Path Publishing.
Okay. Monica, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. If you watched the Exalted Essence demo last night, you saw us in action again. I am an author and developer for the Onyx Path. I did a lot of the mechanical design for Demigod. So if it's bad, it's Neal's fault. I'll just take a page out of Danielle's book.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there you go.
There you go. Oh, you're muted, bud.
I am muted. Lauren, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lauren Roy. I am a writer and developer. I've done a whole heckin' lot of work for Onyx Path, and I am one of those Scion developers that Neal was talking about for the Wild Hunt.
You're still muted, Neal.
I took my mute off.
Okay.
All right.
Or Neal.
Okay. So we're going to sort of start in medias res a little bit. And after a few minutes, we're going to go back and then explain our characters, our histories, and ourselves. So you'll each have a little bit of time to still like quick and cram down your sheets as we start, and then we will just kind of get into it. So for those who are watching right now, this is actually going to be using a lot of the rules of Demigod. We're going to be introducing some of the new rules because the characters are all baby demigods of Legend 5. But that does mean that they are highly experienced heroes. So each of them has incredibly powerful boons. Each of them has some unique abilities over the baseline. And you may recognize some of these characters from the Scion Ready-Made Characters supplement. And I think actually right now we have a sale going on for Scion and all Onyx Path stuff during the duration of the con. So if you don't have it or you like the characters, feel free to pick that up. I didn't introduce Steffi. Oh my God, I'm the worst.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice. I'm barely. Okay, hi, I'm Steffi. I do a lot of writing for Onyx Path. I've done some writing for Scion. I developed Legend Lore, which is currently on Kickstarter, so you should check that out if you like heroics.
And funded yesterday.
What?
Congrats, Steffi, because it's
funded. Yes, it's funded, but now we want to make stretch goals, so people still need to go check it out.
Yes. Steffi, I'm sorry, on the Zoom meeting, I didn't have the entire screen dragged over, so it squished you off to the side. Yeah.
Why?
But I fixed it.
That's
I can see
probably
everyone
good
now.
because that's probably good. So I'm partially hair. My spirit is hair. My body is hair.
Okay.
Currently muting a couple of things.
All right.
Yep.
So we're just going to start off in medias res. And so Tyler, everything good? Yep, everything is good. Okay. All of you awaken. The sand on your face is soft. It smells faintly of salt and long rotted vegetation. It's faint but noticeable. You hear the gentle lapping of water against a shore, not waves, not the ocean, but the gentle susurrus of a river. You open your eyes and they slowly but surely adjust to the gloom around here. You roll onto your backs, sputtering a little bit with the taste of water in your mouths, and you stare up at the cavern ceiling or so. You don't remember anything. You don't remember who you are. You don't remember what was happening, what was going on. And a bit of panic starts to rise in you as you recognize this fact. Looking out over the river, you see the water rushing along. It's clean and clear, but there's a fog that hangs heavy over it. The fog begins to part slightly, and a figure sails up. The boat he's in is huge and ornate and ancient and weathered. It's clearly been in the water for a very long time. The inhabitant of the boat stands up as it comes ashore. He's impossibly tall, maybe 6'7", maybe 7 feet. He's wearing long robes, and he's got a hood. You can see 2 eyes like embers burning within. He steps off the boat, and he says, "Well, I trust you all had a good little adventure."
I move forward. I want to stand in between this scary person and all these very fragile-looking people in my optics. So I go stand between them, and I'm ready to kick his ass if he comes any closer. Who are you? Why are we here?
He says, "You must have all swallowed some water." Okay. Well, let's start at the top then. I am Charon, the ferryman of the dead. You tried to sneak into the kingdom of Hades, and worse, you did so without paying. You know there is a reason I'm well paid, yes? This isn't easy work. These waters may look still, but they are anything but.
Wait, like Charon, like the Greek dude?
That'd be the one.
I just start laughing. Does this sound at all plausible to me, given that I don't remember that you said we don't remember anything, right?
So, as you say that, as you start doing it, you kind of look at the ground where you were all sitting, and you see a little bit of water that you must have all spit up from falling into the river. And your memories start coming back just a little bit, enough to remember who you are and most of your past and your relationships to each other. So we're going to go through each person in turn, and you're going to describe your character, and you're going to describe a little bit about your history. So let's start with Monica.
Okay. Rose is the Heroes of the World character from the Manitou Pantheon. So she's a Native American woman. She is a little over average height. She's got real long dark hair that she keeps like back with like a bandana or something. Has like kind of an art lesbian look to her, sort of on the more butch side. Like is a sculptor, so has like clay stains and stuff on her clothes. Has a couple tattoos. And has sort of like a big sister mom vibe going for her.
Rose, beside you, lying still in the dirt, is what looks like a small rotted rabbit. Its fur is patchy in places, and you can see grayed muscle and bone kind of sticking out of various points of it. Suddenly, it seizes. It can't possibly be alive, and yet it looks like it is. And it coughs up a little tiny bit of water, and it shakes its head. You see one of the ears nearly coming off, just sort of flopping around obscenely. It looks up at you and says, "Well, that was gross."
Rose shrugs and is like, "I guess. What do you remember? She's just gonna take an undead rabbit talking to her in stride. This happens all the time." Also, as someone with both the liminal calling and the death purview, what sense do I get in general just from being here?
You're definitely in the underworld. You're definitely in a foreign underworld. You can sense the basic aura of the place as kind of weird and wrong, but you're in a liminal space right now. This isn't the final resting place of anyone. This is the place you pass through to get to the final resting place. We're going to come back to you in just a moment. Lauren, do you want to describe your character?
Sure. Donnie kind of pushes himself up and rolls up the sleeves of a very fine shirt. He's a taller gentleman. He's beautiful. Like, he's just gonna make your heart go pity-pat. Dark hair, these bright blue eyes. I believe he's got some tattoos on his arms that are nicely muscular and toned, and just kind of looks around, looking at everybody. Well, we sure got ourselves into something here.
Charon looks at you and says, "Your mother would be very disappointed."
What else is new?
I suppose. Still, in payment for the boon I owe her, I can ferry you, but the others will have to pay.
Yeah,
well then, what do we owe you?
Okay, Rich, why don't you describe your character?
Okay. Do we have all like our normal equipment?
Yes.
Stuff?
Yeah, you've got all your stuff on you.
Well, then I'm definitely making sure that the water didn't get in too nastily or the sand into my guns. U.S. Marshal Horace Farrow, and says here, towering presence, stoic and still. Graying hair, cropped short, lets the mustache grow thick. I've got eye patch, and notice I've got a 45 that I'm now checking out, and also seems to be some sort of bent sword. Don't you worry, Donnie. We'll be okay here. He just has to tell us what we need to do to balance the scales.
All right. Charon doesn't look like he's breathing, but if he could sigh, he definitely would be. He looks at your character, Steffie, and he says, "I'm sure we can think of something equitable to balance the scales. Perhaps a service you could later do for me."
I don't like that.
boons are a traditional way of payment among the dead for those who don't have the coin.
I'm sure it is. I searched my pockets. Do I have any coins?
Do you have any coins?
Donnie, I mean, we're in your place. Give me a Greek coin.
Into my pocket.
Donnie, you can decide whether or not you have coins or not to actually pay for passage.
Yeah, I think so. They're probably not all actually coins. Some of them are like subway tokens or a trinket that someone handed to me, maybe somebody's phone number from a club. But sort of, little things that I just pass around to everybody.
You get the sense that you came prepared for this and you felt very clever taking all this random crap.
Yep, I'm like, I've got 2 pennies and a subway token for you.
Haran, again, doesn't sigh, but you get the sense that he really, really wants to. It's difficult to do without lungs, but he would manage it. He extends out a hand. It's bony and skeletal, completely. No skin on it whatsoever, just the ligaments sort of showing. And he just sort of goes, all right, come on.
Okay. I give him the pennies and the subway token.
He goes, charming, American money.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well,
so are we all presenting our the tokens that Donnie gave us to Karen? Yep. Lauren described a bunch of trinkets or things that have like sort of small sentimental values. So the trinket that Donnie stuck in his pocket for Rose, because I was reading their bonds, they have a good relationship with each other as like buddies, is a small like blown glass turtle.
Lovely. I'll keep this in mind whenever I go to Turtle Island next, which is never. My work keeps me here. And he goes, all right, Horace.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have a Indian head dollar coin.
Interesting.
Flip it to him.
He catches it with 2 bony fingers and just sort of works it along his knuckles for a second. And he goes, fascinating. And he makes it disappear in the folds of his cloak like everything else. And then he turns to you, Yukiko. You are nearly as tall as he is. You are taller than anyone else in the group, including Horace. Mm-hmm. So he says, and you, what do you have to offer?
I gave him the pennies and the subway token.
Oh, that's right. Duh.
I did. So, my character, because I don't think I described her yet. Apparently, I'm tall. That's
you got
first.
That.
That's a first. Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm dressed in leather. My hair is green. I'm a Japanese Hawaiian, I think, Hawaiian American girl. And apparently, I have a really big green sword, which I like. And her personality is like she's quick. She's quick to get angry, quick to forgive, quick to pick a fight. Never met there's a reason she has a big green sword.
Yeah, the sword
if all you have is a big green sword, everything looks stabby.
Yep. The sword is the grass cutting blade. It is one of the imperial treasures of Japan. They do say that they keep it in a shrine. So you're pretty sure you've got the actual one instead of the replica they have in the shrine.
Yep.
But yours has magic power, so you assume that it's actually...
It must be real.
Yeah, it absolutely must be real. All right. Karen says, fine. All of you get aboard. I'm assuming you will step onto the boat. As you step on the boat, it doesn't rock at all with your weight, which is odd. It's still sort of sitting there very solidly in the water.
I have a question for the group. Why are we here? I asked the others.
Rose is like, I don't remember.
I mean, I get we drank water, but now we've got, but why are we here? And why are we going further? We could just go home.
Do you know how to get home?
That's an excellent question. Donnie, how do we get home from here?
That's also an excellent question. I think the answer is we stay on the boat.
Okay.
Donnie, give me do you have any cult I don't think you do.
Do not believe so. Nope.
Of course, you're the first character sheet on here. And you don't have any academics either. Yeah, you absolutely do not remember any of the many and myriad ways to get out of the Greek underworld.
Yeah, sorry, I got nothing.
Yeah, Donnie didn't crack a book in school.
Nope.
Oh, God.
Charon, though, looks at all of you and says, I guess I'm going to have to fill you in on this, too.
That would be lovely.
That would
Very
be good.
sincere when he says it too. Just like boosting Karen up. Like, we need you.
Yeah, if a immortal skeletal ferryman of the dead could feel nice and warm about helping you, he would. But he can't, so he doesn't. He says, you approached me on the shores of the river Acheron at the entrance to the kingdom of Hades. All the rivers in the underworld lead through Acheron. You tried to bypass the gates of the kingdom of Hades by taking a tributary river of Lethe. You made it fairly far, but your boat capsized in the waters and you fell in. Clearly, you all must have swallowed a little bit of it if you don't remember why you were here. You did tell me, in an attempt to avoid paying, that your final destination was not Hades itself. It was the Vale, someplace beyond the Asphodel Fields. I have only been there very rarely, and I do not know of any waters that can take you there. But if they are there, Asphodel would be the way.
So Rose has dots of occult, and is liminal and exposed to death. So does this either sound right to me, or do I know more about the Greek underworld than Donnie does?
So I would roll.
Probably.
Almost certainly.
Would you like me to roll?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you do not get to use your specialty of Manitou.
No, this is not the Manitou, unfortunately.
But yeah, I'd either say this is Resolve or Intellect.
All right. I'm gonna go with Resolve because that's real good for me. And I think because that's a resilience attribute. This is like this whole conversation has been going on. So Rose is sort of standing in the background, being thoughtful and quiet, as is her way. Listening to Donnie be like, I don't know anything about my own Pantheon's underworld. And the ferryman being sort of fed up with all of us, and is just quietly and methodically thinking about how to deal with the situation. So I think that confirms using Resolve there.
Sounds good. Remember, you're rolling at target number 7, but it is a difficulty 3.
Okay. Well, I have 7 dice for this, so the odds are against me.
Well, wait, before you roll.
All right.
Well, don't tell me what the result is.
Okay.
You each, so we start with 5 momentum in the pool for the number of people at the table. Does anyone want to donate a die of momentum to Monica to aid in her roll?
From the pool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take
Anybody
one.
else?
This is to figure out how the underworld works, right?
Yep.
Okay, no, I'm not too worried. I'm like, we'll just stab anything that comes across our path and it'll be fine.
But sometimes it's good to have kind of a game plan before you go
yeah,
wading
you
in.
two
That's
do
all
the
I'm
game
saying.
plan and I will do the stabbing. It'll be fine. But no, my character, I don't feel the need to.
And we're
It's fine.
re-rolling 10s, right?
Yes.
Okay.
10s explode.
Yep. Okay. Well, it appears that the dice luck that I didn't have yesterday has returned to me. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
On 8 dice.
Here for the dice roll.
Yep.
So keep in mind, you can put some of that forward towards stunts, or you can just get a bunch of clues about your current situation. Which would you rather have?
Okay. I'll use Q&A, and I will ask you, is Karen telling the truth?
Yes.
Is that path you suggested correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Furthermore,
skeleton, he's not a liar.
Yeah, exactly. Charon is not known for his dissembling.
Right. Well, I mean, like, we're a group. We invaded. He seems a little ticked off. I'm not a member of his pantheon. He could be attempting to mislead us, but good to know.
You did try to jump the ferry without paying it.
Yeah.
That seems so unlike me.
Whose plan was that? Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm going to blame
Probably
Donnie
mine.
for this one. Yeah.
It all comes back to you. It was absolutely Donnie's.
Donnie.
When Donnie displayed the
Hi,
items that he had brought for patches to Charon, all of you decided that it would not be good enough. And Donnie was like, no problem. We'll just take a boat. People do it all the time.
So give me another clue about what was going on here. Can I use an extra clue to get another flash of insight?
Sure.
Okay.
You were down here on a mission from someone. The Greek underworld is one of the easiest ones to get into, as opposed to, say, the Manitou underworld or the Egyptian underworld. You know that every underworld exists on the same spiritual plane that's attuned to house the souls of the dead. And thus, every underworld is connected in some way. So there is a nexus at the center of the underworld where there is a great and grand city where the souls of those who without pantheons go. It's called the Veil. Whatever you were searching for is there, but you don't remember what that was or who sent you to do this task.
Okay, so it's difficulty 3, and so I had 3 successes to spend.
Yeah.
So-
And while you were here, specifically, the Greek underworld is one of the easiest ones to simply go into from the world itself. There's a lot of very stable links. You could just basically walk into a cave and you're there. Or you're at least at the shores of the river Acheron.
So that explains why we went in this way.
Yeah. And now it comes back to you. Donnie was like, yeah, this will be easy. We can take my underworld. It'll be good. And you all believed him.
It's fine.
Sure.
Fine.
I mean, I'm sure we
Don't
had an
we
argument
ever
about
learn?
it. But the end of the line was we went along with it. So I'm going to use my last one for another extra clue. Can I have a flash of insight about what it was we were looking for?
Yes, it was a text or tome.
Oh.
Cool. All right.
City of the Dead.
I will share this with the class. And after this long moments of reflection, Rose recounts that, like, oh, well, we did this because it was Donnie's bad idea and we all went along with it and we decided we were going to go into the Greek underworld because it's the easiest one to get into. And clearly there was some sort of tome that we were looking for. Does anybody else remember this? Because it just all came back to me right now.
That was my question. Does this spur other memories with the rest of us? Or
yes, you have many memories coming back to you of Donnie convincing you to do stupid things.
Stupid things, yes.
All going along with
all
it.
the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do we hang out with you?
He's very
He's not
handsome.
so
I'm
bad.
awesome.
I ask.
He means well.
Yeah.
He's a good time.
More seriously, it actually, Horace, now that you think about it, you were the one who was asked to do something and you asked the rest of the band for help.
Do I remember who asked me? Vague memory.
Let me look at your stats real quick to see if you can make a roll. Yeah, go ahead, and I would use either resolve or intellect, depending on how you're trying to remember it, and academics.
Definitely trying to piece it together. So I'm going to go definitely with intellect and academics. Let's see where we're at there. Okay. So that's it's actually 3 7s. 777.
Nice.
That must mean something.
Was it difficulty 3? Okay. Was it Thoth? No, it wasn't Thoth. Maybe Mott? No, it was their child. Thoth and Mott's child. Seshat, the goddess of wisdom, knowledge, and writing. She's a scribe and a record keeper. She keeps records of everything that's ever been written, and yet she doesn't have a tome, apparently. And you keep thinking really hard and trying to piece together what it was she was asking for specifically, but you're not there yet.
Does it seem like she needs something to be her tome, or is the reason she doesn't have a tome because it's been misplaced or gone?
It's a specific piece of writing, and for whatever reason, the act of writing it was outside of her purview, but you don't remember why.
I gotcha.
Totally. Oh, now you remember. Someone wrote this book after they were dead and after they were in the veil.
Oh.
And it was never something they finished while they were alive, but they finished it while they were dead. But the fact that they were in the veil meant that Seshot could not see them and could not do it. And you get the feeling this is way more important than the Seshot wanting her library to be complete. There was something really important about this, but you definitely don't remember that.
And so the person who wrote this is not someone who worships one of the pantheons.
Correct.
So maybe a scientist or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll definitely let everybody know what I managed to remember out of all this. And thank you all for, I guess, coming along and trying to help me out with this. I appreciate that.
All right. You continue sailing through the dreary, barren place. The only sounds are rushing water and the gentle scraping of Charon's oar as it hits the bottom of the river. You round a bend and you sail into the river Acheron. The place you're in is a dreary, barren place. It's entirely underground in caves and caverns, but they're vast. The size of cities, the size of continents. Huge. You only see the occasional flickering sconce on the wall or stuck into the ground. Every once in a while, you see a lonely soul sort of huddling on the sands and the barren rock, ignored by Charon. And then off in the distance, you see a great flaming river, the river Phlegleton. So, you cross off the river Acheron and onto the river Styx to get to Hades proper. Charon says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think I was going to actually help you breach the gates of Hades? No, I am not going to do that. You're going to go right to the gates of Hades like you should have done in the first place."
Okay.
Yeah, Norris is also just like, all right, buddy, calm down.
I'm looking at Donnie to see if Donnie has more subway tokens that we can bribe Karen with.
Yeah, did Donnie come prepared?
I was thinking at the end of this that I was going to, suggest to Charon that I would find a way to let him visit other places. But I don't know. I'm not sure that that's...
No,
he's kind of a dick, so
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Charon would accept his alternate payment, a secret he's never been told, or a story that makes him laugh.
Ha! Okay. Does anybody have a secret?
Lots of secrets. I'm not telling this weirdo.
I don't know that Rose has any secrets that Charon has never heard.
What do you think, Donnie? Can you make him laugh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So in our taking our own ride through this river before we capsized, I'm thinking the story of me heroically piloting this barge that we were sailing on
until it sank.
Yes, the hubris of me saying I can do this, I can get us there. How do I drive a boat again? And kind of knocking us all into the river. At least we'd get him to laugh at our expense.
Well, hell, that is a funny story, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, I would say that is going to be either a persuasion or empathy roll. Probably getting to know you. Donnie would probably want to use manipulation because he's very good at that. So that would be my guess as to what that would be. Keep in mind, you can activate your legendary title if you want by spending a point of legend. You have 5 points of legend right now. Or you can just try to roll straight and see what you get.
Let me roll straight on this one. So that's what, 10?
Yeah. His heart is quite stony.
Can I donate a momentum to this?
Yes.
Because it would help if we don't actually have to knock on the gates of Hades and then talk to some, I don't know, three-headed dog.
I like puppy dogs.
I don't think this is a puppy dog. I think it's slightly bigger.
A golden retriever friend.
You do. He is not with you right now, but you have a feeling he might be soon. You sent him off to do something. You don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, hey, is that undead rabbit still hanging out with me?
Yep.
Can only I see it, or is it apparent that it's there, visible to everyone?
No, all of you just see a dead rabbit just sort of flopped over beside Rose. None of you see it move. But when you look away and you look back, it has moved.
So Rose sees it moving around, but everyone else has it like horror movie glitching whenever they look away.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Is that normal? Does she usually have an undead rabbit with her?
I mean, she does have 2 spirit guides.
Are we accustomed to this?
Yep. She does. She does keep that dead rabbit around pretty much all the time.
Okay,
it's a real conversation killer.
Yeah. So we've learned to ignore the rabbit.
Yes. His name is Chibi.
Pay no attention.
I never asked what his name was. I don't know what it is.
You've been told his name on several occasions.
Sorry.
If you say so.
Yeah, I filed that away in information I did not ask for.
The name of a rotten rabbit.
Exactly.
Okay, Lauren, what did you get?
Yeah, I donated momentum to this.
10s explode, right?
10s explode.
3 or 5.
Not bad. Okay. This needs to be something a mortal could probably succeed at. So you recount the story of you bravely piloting a craft in defiance of the wicked Charon's orders and his staid obedience. And
I'm totally hyperbolizing everything.
Yep. Halfway through, Charon is like, stop. Wow. Okay. I haven't heard that one before. Okay. You know, everyone who comes through here thinks that they can sneak one by me, but none have ever done it with as much hubris and panache as you. And I have met pretty much every Greek. They know hubris. So, okay, tell you what. If they don't let you in the gates, come back to me, and I'll see what I can do.
Oh, that's right, kind.
Thank you. We appreciate that sincerely.
Okay, so he lands the boat and beckons for you to get off. You're in front of a massive hallway with torch sconces lighting the sides of it. And there is a massive black iron gate at the end of it.
Yeah, always is, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
I look at Donnie and I'm like, even your underworld's extra.
Yep.
Are there like attendant guards? Is
Nope, looks
Cerberus
totally
hanging out?
Looks totally unguarded. Looks totally fine.
Hades taking
Totally
a dog for
fine.
a walk.
Yeah.
Just fine there. This is good.
Donnie's like, this is probably not so easy as it seems.
Okay.
Well,
Yes.
you're the Greek and the talkie guy. I'm
Yeah.
patting Donnie on the shoulder. I'm like, go on.
Yeah. Is your mom Persephone by any chance? Because that would help.
Sadly,
right now.
no.
Okay. Well.
Aphrodite's my mom. And
Oh, no wonder she's
as Karen
disappointed.
said, she is probably immensely disappointed in me.
Well, yeah. Look, what I've read from Greek mythology, that's kind of par for the course.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a weird boulder next to the gate. But It just looks like a black boulder. And you walk up to the gate. So are you guys going to try to scale it? You're going to try to pick the lock? What are you going to try to do?
I want to know why we think the boulder is weird. Is it looking at us suspiciously?
It's weirdly shiny.
I pick up a pebble and I throw it at the boulder.
Okay. The boulder shakes itself off and then towers over you. You see 2, 4, 6 pairs of red eyes just sort of open up and blink at you blearily. It looks like he
done that.
Yeah, he looks like he tucked himself into a nice little ball for a nap.
Yeah, I should have done that. I just pushed.
That's a puppy dog.
I mean, both in and out of character, I'm like,
yeah, all 3.
I just grabbed Donnie and I put Donnie in front of me.
All 3 heads begin to growl and their jaws are slavering just a little bit of it.
Yeah, I give Donnie like a shoulder pat, like good luck.
Its breath smells of rotten meat, and the rumbling growl from inside its throat vibrates your entire self. This thing is massive, and it looks...
Who's a good boy?
Pretty tough.
Hi, puppy.
Okay. There's a flash of yellow running along the ground suddenly, and Lauren, suddenly next to you is a golden retriever.
Who's the best boy?
Another puppy.
I know that I'm the best boy, but we don't have time for that.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
But I am the best boy. Where have you been? You told me to go distract Cerberus, and then you just left.
Oh, well, we had a little bit of a mishap at the river and a boat. And Lethe drinking.
Did you try to sail the river Lethe and then you fell in and drank a bunch of it and half drowned?
If I
like
said
you were
no, would you believe me?
Donnie, you know you only get into these situations when you tell me to go away for a bit, right? Do you know why that is?
I forget.
Because I'd stop you from doing it.
You should listen to the puppy, Donnie.
Fair enough.
Do we understand what the dog is saying?
Oh, yes. You can definitely understand what the dog is saying. Chibi's another story.
Good. Look, I'm with the not dead Labrador. I think retriever. Sorry.
I have a name. It's Virgil.
Virgil. Sorry, I forgot. Because Donnie dunked us in the River Leith.
I can see that.
Yeah. So this distracting Cerberus thing.
We'll do that again?
Yeah. It's not going to work now. He kind of sees you. He's still growling and still like slowly advancing.
Conversation. Okay. You fix this. I promise not to throw stones at sleeping dogs anymore.
Yeah.
So in my defense, it just looked like an extremely suspicious boulder.
Now you can try to fight Cerberus if you want.
So
we could, but
we could go back to the old Boney and see if he's found another way for us to do it.
Yeah, or you could try to get past Cerberus.
I think that fighting Cerberus might lead to killing Cerberus, which is going to kick off a whole chain of pissed off gods.
Yeah, did you ever see John Wick? It's sort of like that.
Don't kill his dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty sure the owner of the dog is the guy that, the country we're going to sneak through. So let's not kill the dog, which means Donnie is going to talk to the dog. Go ahead, you've got this.
Yeah.
Did you bring any dog biscuits?
Reach into my pockets. No.
You own
a retriever. You don't have any biscuits for Virgil? What kind of dog owner are you? You sent him on this quest to I don't know, distract a giant 3-headed dog, and you don't even have biscuits for him?
Have you met Donnie?
That is
Virgil
insulting.
before we...
Virgil says, Yukiko has a solid point here. It's only my innate canine loyalty that keeps me from leaving your sorry ass.
Scritching behind the ears.
Oh, thanks.
Good boy. Who's that good boy?
So I have the liminal knack experienced traveler, and I'm going to guess that the Greek underworld counts as a new place that I've never been before.
Yes.
So I immediately pick up on all the social norms and mores and any language I need to get by. So do I automatically know or have some sense of what the appropriate custom is past the point of the things we've already fucked up, to get past Cerberus or to get into the gates of Hades appropriately.
Yes. So to get for Cerberus to let you pass, you need to essentially state your desire to enter, and then you need to acknowledge that you will submit yourself to the judgment of the 3 judges of Hades.
Oh no.
Iacos, Minos, and Radamanthus.
Okay, so while Virgil is talking to Donnie and they're having this argument, again, Rose is in the background, like, just turning slowly into the thinking emoji. And then is like, hey, everyone, here's what we need to do. And then I inform everyone that, we need to submit ourselves to the judgment of the the judges of Hades. Is that what you said?
Yes,
yeah.
The 3 judges of Hades.
3 judges of Hades. And if we do that, then we can go in. It's fine to me.
Do we know what their judgment entails?
Mm-hmm.
Do I know what their judgment entails?
Yeah, or any of us.
You've read some. You've read some.
Hey, you know what? We're starting level demigods, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I have the death purview. Instantly knowing what this judgment entails sounds like a death casual miracle to me.
Absolutely, it does. You instantly intuit the strange laws that govern the Greek underworld. And essentially, the souls need to argue the entirety of their weight and their deeds and life to these judges. And the judges kind of bicker amongst themselves and decide where to send the soul. Typically, it's to Tartarus, which is, the Greek hell, the Elysian Fields, which is sort of like the Greek heaven, and Asphodel Fields, which is kind of like the Greek purgatory. And for anyone listening who is a mythology nerd, yes, I know that those are very inaccurate comparisons, but they're functional.
It's simplified, and we're not that bright.
Yeah.
Good surface level comparisons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What you should probably do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but now that's what they do to the dead, which
we're
not really.
Wild. Given that we are not part of the Greek pantheon, couldn't we claim some sort of diplomatic immunity and then Donnie is just on his own?
Yeah, you totally could do that. That's a legit thing to do.
Okay.
So they're just going to judge Donnie?
Everyone's always judging me.
Is that going to work out well for all of us? I mean, think about it.
No. I mean, of all the 4 people gathered here, the person we want to be judged least is probably Donnie, who, as I want to remind everyone, dunked us in the River Leaf because he didn't want to pay his own ferryman.
This is true. Of course, somebody else also threw a stone at Cerberus. So yeah.
Who looked like a suspicious rock? Anyone would have done that. I just did it first.
Okay.
Also, Donnie is the kind of person who does not bring biscuits for his dog.
So, Donnie, I am going to
kind of soggy in the water.
I'm going to point out that you have a number of Dominion stunts because you possess the Dominion of Beauty that are available to you. Yes. I would like to draw your attention to the Fast Friends.
I was looking at that myself. Yep.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think I am going to try to make friends with Cerberus here. Just reading the thing. Yeah, I will step forward and kind of, do the, hands out that you do with a dog that is unfamiliar to you, and just slowly approach, and turn on my charm.
Okay.
Who's a good boy? Donnie's a good boy.
He's drawn to my compelling beauty. I'm thinking that it's sort of that he's trying to get Cerberus to see that Virgil thinks I'm cool. So let's it's okay. Everything's fine. I think.
Do you wish to use any boons or purviews for this? You have Visage Great and Terrible. In terms of paths, which will add extra dice to your roll, you have Hound of Aphrodite. So
that sounds pretty apt.
Yeah. I'm a dog. You're a dog. Come on.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. tapping your Hound of Aphrodite path will give you +2 dice to the roll. If you want to do Visage Great and Terrible, that is going to be pulling up the thing. Yeah, no, that's not a good one for you. That's just pure monstrosity.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to be scary. That seems like a bad idea with a
Yes,
angry
Cerberus is
dog.
definitely the scariest thing in the room.
Yeah. Though I think this
except for
works.
Yukiko.
Yeah, I was going to say, I take offense at that.
I think this would go with my, getting to know you under empathy.
I definitely think it would. You also have Steward of the Heart as a legendary title.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Yeah, let's invoke that. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah. So that is going to immediately up your scale. And since you are Legend 5, that ups your scale to 3.
Okay.
So, which is good because he is a scale 2 for convincing non-dead people to move past him. So you actually beat him by 1 scale and get +4 successes.
Oh, good.
So go ahead and roll.
Okay. And for my attribute here, presence or composure?
How are you trying to do this? Are you trying to genuinely charm him and genuinely establish an empathetic connection?
Yes.
Then presence.
Okay.
Because if you're like, I really don't care about this damn dog, but I'm going to make you think I care.
Donnie is the dog person.
I can be sincere sometimes. Like right now.
Worse than cat.
4.
Nice.
Yeah.
That definitely beats the target that he was going at. If you want to use the fast friends, you have 2 successes left on the knack of the difficulty because of the scale involved. So, okay. Yes, dog meets dog. And Cerberus licks you with each of its 3 tongues.
Totally fine.
You are now sodden and gross smelling.
And I still look good. It's fine.
And with a sort of charmed whimper, the dog sort of reaches back around and trots towards the gate and then nudges it open with his massive 3 heads. Just like boom, boom, boom. And the gate just like slowly swings open.
Oh, there you go.
Let's go on in.
All right. The lot of you trudge on in. You come to a massive antechamber where there are 3 thrones setting in a room with many Grecian columns. You see braziers flaming on the raised dais that the thrones are sitting upon. And you see sconces burning all along all the walls, but it still is incredibly dark and gloomy in here. Some of the torches flicker a little bit green or blue sometimes, but most of them are just a lambent orange. So there are 3 figures sitting on each of the 3 thrones, or each of the thrones, rather. One of them beckons to you all. It says, okay. Approach.
I'll step forward.
Absolutely.
You are not dead.
No.
And the dead thing beside you is not permitted entry.
No.
And sort of gestures to Chibi. And Chibi says, yeah, I wouldn't want to go here anyway. This place smells. This place smells terrible. And I eat my own poop.
Did they hear him?
Oh, they absolutely did.
Being a little shit. I'm like,
yeah.
Knock it off, buddy. Not right now. Not right now.
All right, whatever.
Anyone else stepping forward with me?
Sure.
Oh no, pass.
I'll step forward.
Adonis Rhodos. You are due to be judged by us, but your thread has not yet been cut. Why are you here? And who are the rest of these?
These are my friends and my companions. We are here on a very important mission, and I'm trying to look and see what I've got that I think I want to use. Do I want to use center of attention and try to keep is that the one that keeps all eyes on me?
Mm-hmm.
Just to sort of draw some of the heat off of them.
Okay, I'll let you do that without a roll, actually.
Okay. And I would also like to perform a casual miracle of creating divine mood lighting. So that the light from the sconces just sort of falls so perfectly upon me that it's almost like
perfect.
Can't look away.
Absolutely.
And even though I'm still kind of covered in Cerberus slobber, it's shining. It's highlighting my best features.
With
the
another
slobber
casual-
looks like glitter on
Yes.
you. Yeah, the slobber looks like glitter on you.
Yeah.
You do look quite good. And all of their attention is drawn towards you, but that also means all of their ire is focused towards you.
Yeah.
And so the judge in the middle says, "Oh, I don't know. What do you think, Minos? They're on a very important mission. What do you think about that?" And the judge, known as Minos, just sort of nods and says, "Yes, that is absolutely a good reason to suspend our holy duty given to us by the Lord Hades to guard the realms of the dead and correctly sort them. Yeah, we should just let anyone stroll in here if they have a good reason."
See, that's
great. Okay,
great.
let's go.
No, sarcasm cannot be out of vogue.
Oh.
Yeah, I
was hoping.
I think Yukiko might just genuinely not get the sarcasm, so I'm like, okay, so I start walking on. Okay, apparently this is settled. Awesome.
One of them snaps two bony fingers, and you hear a rumbling patter. And Cerberus just sort of is there, just wham, blocking your path. One of the head growls at you, Yukiko, and the other one just sort of leans way down and licks Donnie.
Boy, switches. Do I have a sense of how secretive the tome that we're trying to retrieve? Like, obviously, I know we were trying not to go through here. But if we just state outright what it is we're looking for, how catastrophic do I think that would be? How angry is Horace going to be at me if I do this?
It was definitely a mission given to you that needed to be done with incredible urgency. But Horace, you don't remember any particular secrecy being attached to this task.
That's right. Absolutely.
And maybe you don't have to say what you're doing it to do, but just that you want passes through the Asphodel fields.
Using the order purview and understanding how laws and judges work, is there any reason, like, what they're supposed to be doing involve stopping anyone besides the dead? Are they like a little bit overreaching their concerns here because we're not part of what they're supposed to be judging?
So with a casual order miracle, you can just do this. You can perceive a loophole in laws or rules with a sensory tell. And you can just increase bureaucratic efficiency just by being present. So no, their judgment does not apply to the living, really. There are many stories in the Greek in the Greek text of just friggin' anybody coming down there.
I think Hercules did it. Didn't Hercules come through?
Hercules absolutely did it, although he ended up here as well, in a more permanent fashion. But so they can't really stop you. All you're asking for is just politely to walk through. In fact, you're doing them a courtesy.
Exactly. Well, Your Honors, we don't want to take up any more of your valuable time. You've got the dead to judge. We'll just be moving on through since we don't mean any harm and we don't intend to break any of your laws. We just need to get to Asphodel.
Asphodel, not Elysium, not Tartarus.
Now we need to go to the Vale.
Oh, the third judge goes, yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, we'll give you passage if you so desire. But you must do for us a boon to be drawn of you later. Now, you instantly sort of know, Horace, that they're kind of overreaching here. They don't have the authority from Hades to judge the living. They definitely don't have the authority to judge someone who's not of the Greek pantheon and not a believer in the Greek pantheon. So, but on the other hand, they do have a massive dog.
That's right. Well, I'd have to hear what it is your boon involves before I agree to anything like that, since we're really doing it as a courtesy between lawful officials and not so much that, that we really have to take it. So, what is it you need?
There are a number of escaped souls who have ventured out from Asphodel to the Vale. I would request that you find a way to return them properly to the Asphodel fields.
Well, I will tell you that you have my word that if we see such as them, we'll talk to them and see if we can convince them to go where they belong.
Sounds good. All right. One of them snaps his bony fingers, and Cerberus sort of stands aside. You see 3 great hallways that are blocked by massive iron doors. The center of the iron doors, the center set of iron doors, slowly swings open, and you see a dim light in the distance at the end of the tunnel. And they say, through this is the Asphodel Fields. Go and be well.
Come on, Donnie, you first.
Thank you. I will drop a very dapper bow. Cerberus one last scritch.
Okay, it is 2:00. Do we want to take a quick break?
Yeah, I think a short break's probably pretty good. I will refresh my drink.
Need more popcorn?
Yeah, get myself some. Put the rest of the bag in here.
Absolutely.
All right.
Take a little stretch.
All right.
So we'll be back in what, like 5-10 minutes?
Yeah. Let's say 7.5.
7.5. Perfect. I will make sure I put on a timer for exactly 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Good.
Yeah.
And we're back. I hope everyone had a good 7.5 minute break. I was timing you, and I know who took too long. So.
What a cold open, Neall.
Okay. You walk through the halls of the underworld. Your shoes and boots are kind of clacking on the ground a little bit, and the sound of your footfalls resounds throughout the massive chamber, just back and forth until it's like a low rumbling thunder. Eventually, the footfalls cease, and you come to a sort of gap in the side there, and you can see great rivers rushing along either side of your pathway. You know that one river is the river of memory, and the other one is the river of lamentation, Cocytus. Lethe is the one that you tried to sneak into and then just sort of sail up to this point. But the waters were too fast for you. So, Asphodel Meadows. You eventually come to the end of your journey and you step out into, it's not sunshine. It's like an overcast day. It's light out. It's definitely daytime, but everything is just drab and dreary. And as you look around, you see that the colors are just unappealing. And you see fields of asphodel flowers. They're these pale white Greek flowers, just meadows as far as the eye can see. You can see off in the distance a couple buildings, but they're pretty solitary and spaced out. And you see great sloping hills, and you see dozens of people just sort of like milling about on there. Most of them are wearing various types of ancient Greek dress, but you do see a few modern folks there as well, with fashions ranging anything from the 18th century all the way up to something that you've seen last week. Some teenager wearing a thrash metal shirt and jeans just sort of like wanders past you. So, Rose, you instantly understand aspects of the underworld thanks to the fact that you have the Death Dominion. You just get information downloaded into you. Oh yeah, this is how this underworld works. The Asphodel Meadows are for those who lived mediocre lives, and they were forced to drink from the river Lethe, which, as you know, removes most of their memories and their personalities, just completely erases them. The shades here are more like empty shades. They don't have any life left to them. They don't have any thought or any belief left to them. They're just sort of milling about. Eventually,
they're kind of devoid of personhood.
Yep.
Okay.
The meadows themselves are a place of neutrality overall. Neither joys nor pains are felt here. You know that if you tarry too long in this place, your emotions will become as drab and muted as everything else. Despite that, there is a pang of sympathy for these shades. They don't have any way to better themselves. They don't have any way to worsen themselves either, but there's no way to better themselves. You know that eventually some of them do stumble into the Greek system of reincarnation, but as you look around, you see that there are several ancient shades here that just never did. So, there is a river on the far side of the Asphodel Meadows. And that river should be able to take you to the Vale.
Okay, can I like roll a cult or something up in here to like map out a plan or like figure out the best way to go about this, given that I, you know, as I keep referencing the liminal and death thing. So my character is certainly the most qualified to like low key guide everyone through here, even if this isn't my underworld, because, you know, my Death Dominion just downloaded how to make all this work into my brain. So do we want to do that like we did the last time where I do it like a procedural thing?
Yeah, it's true. If you want to invoke your legendary title as well of Spirited Whisperer, that would
sure.
actually, that would make a lot of sense.
Let's do it.
And whatever you do, don't listen to Donnie.
I wasn't going to, so don't worry. So do you need me to roll anything? Do you want to do
Yeah.
this like a procedural thing?
Let's do it like a procedural thing. So just give me a roll of.
I use occult again.
Yeah.
What did I
Your
got?
specialty does not apply.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I imagined so. Does my enhancement from experienced traveler apply here? It's all rolls to blend into the culture, and so I guess this would be the culture of the dead.
Yeah, no, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
This particular culture is Pennsylvania Dutch. It's very boring. Just kidding to anyone who's a Pennsylvania Dutch person out there. No, they don't watch.
They're
YouTube
not watching
streams.
YouTube.
No, it's fine.
No, but your next check is probably going to be a little troublesome for you.
Also, my innate thing from death lets me communicate with all forms of undead and shades. So, I mean, these are sort of non-people, so I'm not sure they have much to say. But if I need to talk to them to some degree, even if it's just like, oh, I'm going to follow their body language to like go this certain way, I can.
Yes. You can communicate with them. To the rest of you, it's all Greek to you. So.
Right. So, all right. I'm going to keep using Resolve here for this. And I have a point of enhancement. Let's see. Do I have anything else cool going on here? I invoked my title. So that gives me scale 3, right?
Yep.
Dealing with this. So does that also give me a bunch of enhancement to do this?
It
I mean,
does.
I don't necessarily know that I'm comparing my scale to anything right now.
You're not, but the land itself is sort of mystically cloaked, so the scale helps you to kind of power right through that.
Power through it? Sure. Okay. All right. So that's enhancement equal to the scale, right?
No, enhancement that is this will be dramatic enhancement, so it's double the scale.
Right. Okay. This is gonna go wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Or I could roll like crap. So I failed actually, which means I did not achieve any successes. And I got a 1, so I actually botched.
No.
Hooray! So that's 2 momentum for our pool.
Yeah. That is 2 momentum. So Rose, you totally know the way out of here. You've been to the Vale before. You can sense it. You are a burgeoning goddess of death, and this is your domain, even if it's a weird Greek one, right? They're all pretty much the same.
Dad's dead.
Yeah. You got this. You're fine.
We're fine.
Lead them on the way.
Okay. She's the one with the weird pet. I mean, she's the one with the weird dead bunny. So if she says she knows the way in Underworld, I'm like, okay, obviously.
Yes, Yukiko, you look away for a moment, then you look back and the bunny's moved. That's closer to you now.
If you come any closer, I will punch you. I don't care if you're dead.
The rabbit does not reply.
But I got the message.
Chibi says to you, Rose, no, I didn't. I'm totally going to keep messing with her.
Okay, buddy. I know you're gonna.
What's she going to do to me? I mean, look at me.
You know, I wouldn't taunt another Scion, buddy. I really wouldn't.
I've taunted so many Scions before. You have no idea.
And look at what state you're in.
Okay, fair point. All right.
So what terribly wrong path that I am fully 100%. The Greek has gone to my head completely. And in an uncharacteristic act of very unrose-like hubris, I'm like, this way, for sure.
So you look around, everything's sort of drab and gray and overcast, but in the distance, in one little corner, you see dark storm clouds. And you're like, yeah, obviously it's interacting with the sort of dissonance between other underworlds and the resonance, and that's got to be the ticket to the Vale. That's the way to go. Absolutely. 1000%.
Right. Straight on till morning. Let's go.
Yeah. So you guys march off towards the giant black rain cloud hovering under the honey tree. It takes a while. You are walking for hours and hours. You don't really seem to get tired at all. And you're not hungry either, but there's really nothing to eat here, so that's actually probably a good thing. After a while, what are all of you feeling right now? Horace, how are you feeling?
I feel like we need to get to the Veil. And I feel like there should be a perceivable, organized way to get to the Veil. This is how you get to the Veil. So that's what we do.
Yep. Yukiko, what are your thoughts right now? How are you feeling? Oh, you're muted, Steffi.
I have some faith in Rose that she's going to get us to the Veil, but I'm expecting trouble when it happens then, and I'm feeling protective, especially towards Donnie, who is like my bestie, even if he dunked me in the River of Leith.
Yeah. There's something in the back of your mind that's not quite right. And as you smell the air, it doesn't really smell of anything, but every once in a while, you catch the whiff of gasoline, motorcycle exhaust. You ride a motorcycle. You ride it pretty much everywhere in the world, so you know what it smells like. Why is it here? But maybe it's just a trick of the wind. Maybe it's your fainting memories still coming back to you that's there. Probably nothing. Donnie, how are you feeling about everything?
I think all the drab's kind of getting to me.
It is, in fact, getting to you. And Horace, that need to get to the Veil is ebbing a little bit. You don't wanna, but you could stay here for a little bit. Just kind of maybe sit on the meadow there. And Yukiko, kind of the same thing. You're like, I could lay down if I wanted to.
Oh, do I recognize that as a weird state for me?
Yes.
Okay.
You are restless and hyperactive.
Okay.
That just doesn't seem right.
I think somebody's fucking with us.
Maybe this place is fucking with us.
Yes, it probably is the place fucking with you.
Gotta get out of here. Yeah.
It's a few more hours of walking, and those feelings of sort of lethargy just sort of intensify a little bit. After a while, your conscious minds become aware that it is this place pressing upon you. It's really, and you just have to get out of here.
Right.
So finally, dark storm clouds are overhead. Bolts of lightning flash across the sky a little bit. And you come past the meadows and to what look like jagged ebon mountains that sort of rose up very suddenly all over the horizon. They're there. Rose, give me an occult roll, an intellect occult roll.
Okay. How good is my intellect? Let's see. Oh, not great. So, can I substitute this for composure?
Yes.
Okay. I try to keep portraying her character as someone who's pretty calm, cool, collected, and always pretty even-keeled. So is perhaps more of a roundabout, slow, methodical thinker than a quick, powerful one. So we'll use composure and occult. And I'm gonna nab one of those momentum dice that I just earned for us by botching.
Seems fair.
Whoop. Somehow managed to drop dice out of my dice tray.
Isn't the tray supposed to catch the dice?
Yeah, it is.
You're falling apart, Marka.
Yeah, I am.
Have you
tried
rolling the dice in the dice tray?
I suppressed the immense urge to flip you off on camera. So it's a whole two.
Okay, 2 successes.
Yeah, unless my enhancement from being accustomed to the culture of the dead would count here too.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so that's 3.
Okay. 3 is enough to realize the enormity of your mistake.
Okay.
You have not taken the group to the place where Asphodel Meadows borders the rest of the underworlds. You've taken it to the place where the asphodel fields border Tartarus, the Greek hell. There's sort of dread smells and brimstone and writhing sounds coming from over the mountains, just sort of echoing through. A fetid wind is blowing off the tops of the mountains just on you. You can see off in the distance, one of the mountains has a snowy peak, and it's sort of throwing off moisture into the air, and you don't want to know what it feels like when you're touching it, but you're kind of touching it now because you have to be, because you're in the same air. Ugh. So, Yukiko, the smell of gasoline is getting stronger and stronger, and you think you hear the roar of motorcycles in the distance. There's not a lot of opportunity for cover here. There is a small sort of Grecian building that's domed with columns. It's sort of a large gazebo.
I turn to Rose because Donnie doesn't know anything about his own mythology. Is the Grecian underworld known for its motorcycle gangs?
No. with a question mark.
You don't have the academics to know.
Yeah. It's just.
Did
Don't think so.
Did none of you have academics?
I do.
Oh, you do. Yeah, you can make a roll.
All right, academics and intellect.
Yeah, if you're trying to kind of power through it and think about what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Cunning would also work.
All right. Okay, that's a double. That's a 1. That's a 2. I don't know how many I need off of this, but all right. So that's 3.
Okay, that's about enough.
The 10 didn't explode, really.
So thanks to the complication that Monica tripped earlier, you've led yourselves right into a pretty nasty place. No, you definitely know that motorcycles are not part of the Greek underworld traditionally, but you do know that one particular resident of Tartarus is a Scion called Ixion, who attempted to seduce Hera and then was tricked into making love to a cloud. And everyone mocked him for making love to a cloud. And for trying to sleep with Hera, Ixion was bodily thrown from Olympus down into Tartarus, where he has been very angry ever since. And he makes a number of monstrous creatures, including the centaurs, who are his creations. And you know recently that several of the motorcycle gangs that have plagued the American Southwest are, in fact, centaur motorcyclists. So you hear the roar.
I heard of these guys.
You all hear the roar of motorcycles off in the distance, and they're growing ever closer. So someone knows you're here. So you have maybe about a minute or so before they arrive. You see them cresting over a hill.
All right, let's get to that temple.
Putting it away. You're gonna try to get yourselves to the open air temple.
Yep, let's get to the temple. Let's they're gonna outrun us if they're all centaurs. So.
All right, I'm also gonna just drop my Dominion Boon enervating aura, which will be in place on the off chance they want to start some shit with us.
Mm.
Well, unless Donnie can charm them, I'm betting they do.
I mean, I do have centaur followers. Probably not any of these particular centaurs, but I'm wondering.
You could talk
Could
to
be.
them.
I could have forgotten.
If you want to... I'm sorry, go ahead, Steffi.
If you can persuade them that they're your centaur followers, then maybe we could hitch a ride.
Yeah.
Since Rose led us in the totally wrong direction.
I would say with a twist of
you
fate...
haven't told us that yet. We don't know. We're like the failed loops.
Yeah, I'm still in the shit. Rose is fine for them.
Yeah. Yeah, with a twist of fate, you probably could eventually convince some of them that they're your centaurs. Like, oh, you know Ricky? Yeah, I know Ricky. Ricky's a great friend of mine, blah, 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 blah. He's got a motorcycle for a lower half, right? Yeah, I know the guy.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah.
I think the smart thing is still to get to the temple in case we need to defend it, but I am perfectly happy trying to be out front like, hey, everybody, long time. You know,
yeah. So a temple is maybe a strong word for what it is. It really is more like just a sort of open air gazebo. It's sort of vaguely reminiscent of Jefferson's tomb, for example. It's just a bunch of columns surrounding a big circular area, a big dome on top, and a central pillar in the middle. But you run over there and you manage to climb up the steps just as the roar of the motorcycles becomes almost too much to bear. The motorcyclists, you count 6 of them, and they are indeed centaurs. They're wearing leather cuts, those vests that bikers wear. And it looks like their bottom halves are all Harley Davidsons. And they're sort of roaring around. You see their torsos are unnaturally fused into the handlebars in what almost looks like an uncomfortable way. And then slowly like continuing down to snake into the fuselage of the bike. And you can see their skin is bulging where the handlebars should be. They roar in a circle and just start circling the temple itself.
How many are there?
6. A single figure leaps off the back of one of the centaurs and starts walking up to all of you. He is wearing leather pants. He is wearing a torn white t-shirt. He has what looks like fighting tape sort of all over his knuckles, and he's just sort of casually wielding a machete. He's handsome. He's a handsome Greek man. But his eyes are furious and wild.
I'm going to step in front of Donnie.
Yeah. He walks up to you, casually tossing the machete up into the air and catching it by the handle just again and again. And he yells past you, Yukiko. And he says, Donnie, long time.
Hey. Do I recognize him?
You don't.
Okay.
But you get the feeling you should, but that you're still shaking off the river Lith.
Mm-hmm.
No, the relationship meant more to him than it did to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm totally gonna play it cool.
I'm gonna. I have my sword in hand because this seems like a rapidly. I'm not gonna make a first move, but I am gonna stay in between Donnie and whoever the hell between Donnie and one of his many exes.
Yeah. Donnie, this is not the first time for you that someone has come up to you describing you as the most meaningful relationship they've ever had, and for you it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This is not the first time. Not going to be the last.
No, I was going to say I'd feel bad about it, but there's next Tuesday. But yeah, oh wow, how are you doing? It's been, gosh, how long has it been?
About 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you look wonderful. I'm going to try to kick up. I think I need to hold this in reserve for when I'm actually rolling, but where did it go? Was it enthralling appearance? Yeah. I am complimenting this person to heck and back. Like, you look amazing. You look those pants. They do wonders. And trying to kind of go for, winning him over and turning my charm up all the way, especially in this totally drab place, enhancing my own beauty.
Nice. You become as beautiful as you possibly can in this drab, dreary place. He seems to be carrying some sort of the energy and the vitality of Tartarus with him. that sort of burning desire that comes from a land of torment. And his voice raises ever so slightly as he responds to you. And he says, "Yeah, thank you for the compliments. Really appreciate it. But I really ought to kill you for what you did in Amsterdam."
Do I have any recollection of what happened in Amsterdam?
No, not even a little
I
bit.
go to Amsterdam a lot. I'm really sorry. Gosh, how can I make that up to you? Aside from dying, that would probably not be great.
Well, that would be my first choice.
What's your second choice?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. You've stopped him cold for a second, and he's like,
"When in doubt, confuse them."
Mm-hmm. We know Donnie pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Can we tell that you're like, I have no clue who this is?
Oh yeah.
"Oh yeah."
I just assumed that.
It's a safe assumption.
I like the idea that the three of us have all sort of stepped back.
No, I'm in
like,
front of him. I'm like,
okay. Well then,
Sort of peeking out from behind you.
Horace and Rose behind him, like, that's a whole lot of his problem.
Oh, I'm not gonna let this guy take Donnie out, but
No. We weren't.
I hit him real hard a couple of times.
yeah, just drag him around on a motorcycle for a little bit, then we'll get him.
Yeah.
We're not interfering in this awkward conversation. Oh, before we move on too far, so when the two of us, I invoked my legendary title, and so did Steffi. Someone else
I
did.
invoked mine earlier.
You did. Donnie did. Okay. We were doing that as a mini feat of scale, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So both of us should have a divinity die.
You both have a divinity die.
Yeah.
In your pool.
what?
Yeah. So whenever the next time you make a roll, you replace one of your dice in the pool with it.
Where do I find what my title is?
It should be at the bottom of your sheet.
It's under birthrights.
Yes, and this is a little line that says legendary title.
Oh,
I'm
I'm the undefeated blade. Okay, yeah. Right.
Yeah. So at this point, demigods would have multiple titles, but I've only shortened it down to one because it's a one shot.
Yeah.
You would have multiple things to choose from that you could spend legend on to invoke scale. But we're gonna go with it for now. And yeah, whenever we roll the divinity device, if they come up with a success, Monica and I will tell you how that happens, how that works. Okay. So, yeah. The man standing there is just like, and you're pretty sure, Horace, this has got to be Ixion. His features are classically beautiful. His hair is raggedly cut, but it was probably once tousled in that way you've seen on so many Greek statues. And he's definitely radiating an aura of power that would match a demigod. Also, he said, he's traveling around with a bunch of centaurs. So probably Ixion. Ixion says, "Why are you here, Donnie?"
We're just passing through. We're on our way to the Asphodel Fields.
Well, you're here in the
I mean, to the Vale. Sorry, to the Vale.
To the Vale. Oh,
yep.
Yeah. And he says, "What do you want to do in the Vale?"
"We're here to retrieve something."
That place is only slightly less boring than retrieve something.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "What and for whom?"
Horace told us.
We'll know when we get to the Vale. Right now, we're a little fuzzy from the River Lith.
Yeah.
Wait, you took a swim in the River Leith?
Well, we didn't mean to, but Donnie was piloting the boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know all too well what you mean.
You saying I'm a bad driver?
We're saying you don't drive a boat.
Oh, well, that's probably a thing I should have known before I tried.
Yeah, can't blame that on the river. All right. Ixion says, fine. Let me phrase this another way. Give me one reason why I shouldn't kill the lot of you.
Can I just plant one on him? Can I
Yes.
be like,
You cannot, because I'm not letting you physically near him. I'm like, no, we are not. You are not kissing your murderous ex.
Donnie's just like, he goes like, what are you doing?
just like takes their faces and
Boom, shoulders.
I pictured Donnie like going, all right, well, I guess the dramatically appropriate here thing is to just kiss him, and then like leaning forward, like anime bubbles and everything, and then Yukiko just grabs him by the waist and tucks him under her arm.
Yep.
No.
It's like Donnie might still have some feelings there for you, champ.
So, question for you, Ixion. If you're mad at him, why are you mad at the rest of us?
Well, if you're traveling around with Donnie, you're probably up to no good. Also, not gonna lie, they can't really earn their patches. It's a motorcycle club thing. I don't get it, but they can't really earn their patches unless they kill someone. So, and they really want to do it. So here we go.
It's Hakim. Like he's talking. So is he otherwise engaged? Can I just?
Rose is trying to think of like a measured response to.
I'm moving to the combat of this encounter.
I'm perfectly fine with that out of character. I'm just describing Rose as like her brain is slowly catching up with what just happened and is thinking of a measured response, and then Yukiko just
Yukiko's thinking actually is everybody is still talking. Let me try to stab him while they are busy with something else.
Go ahead. I'm good with that.
So my title is the Undefeated Blade, so that seems like something I could invoke in combat.
Yeah, for scale, you absolutely could.
Okay. Let me see if I have a knack that helps with this. So you can, I can invoke one knack per round, right? So if how does that
correct.
work again? Okay, so if I wanted to do okay, I am. Oh, the Master of Weapons thing, is that always on, or do I choose my?
That's always on, but
Okay.
I mean, you've chosen your sword, basically.
Yeah, exactly. No, that makes sense. Since I think we are going to have combat against multiple people, is a knack for 1 round, or is it a scene?
It's typically a scene.
Okay.
If you're looking at Army of One.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that makes sense to just go ahead and invoke that now because it's probably going to come in handy.
Yeah, give me a second. Army of One. When you fight outnumbered, you wouldn't take any of the outnumbering penalties, and you gain half. Woo. Okay, cool.
Unless a knack has a specific activation, like it costs some momentum or whatever, it is considered to be always on and triggers when you meet the condition. So we are currently fighting outnumbered, so it just happens automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can commit instead of spending legend to use your legendary title for the scale, or for the scene rather. So that means that you get scale 3.
Yep.
And that means that you get 3 successes or 3 enhancements on top of that as well. Wow. Okay, that is quite strong. Well, cut loose.
Okay, so I'm just going to roll my close combat and my might, and I've got a specialty in one-handed blades. How does that work? Should have read up on the system.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I got you.
So I've got one-handed blades on the close combat. What does that?
Yes. Your specialties don't actually affect your dice pool at all.
Okay.
If you fail, they give you additional momentum in what you're doing.
Oh, right. And did we have a divinity dice? Did you just said that?
You did not, but you will at the end of this.
Okay. So I just roll might and close combat.
Correct.
And then sevens.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Ixion is effectively got a defensive scale of 2, but you are going to hit him at a scale 3, which gives you a 1 total. So you're going to have a total of +2, and you're going to have +2 enhancement from scale, and then the +3 from army of 1. So you have a total of +5 enhancement on this attack roll.
Yeah, is that dice or?
Those are successes.
Okay.
As long as you roll 1 success.
Okay. I'm going to use a momentum because I figured, it helps if you hit him on the first go. How does that work again?
Before we start, well, just a momentum is given to you and it adds an extra die to your roll.
Okay.
Before we start, does anyone have any Dominion boons that they would like, or Dominion stunts that they'd like to have in play?
I put up Enervating Aura previously.
Sure. What does that do?
That's available. Let me pull it up real quick. It makes us all do damage better. Hang on. You can apply Enervating Aura to any attack action. The target gains the enervated condition. While they have this condition, all attacks targeting that character are treated as though they have the brutal tag. This costs 2 successes. For 4 successes, the condition worsens, preventing the character from healing until the condition resolves.
Ooh,
resolve enervated when the character is taken out or takes damage from the critical stunt. Also, I'd like to note that we actually racked up a whole bunch of collateral because I used Defeat a Scale. Donnie used Defeat a Scale. Then we both used rolls enhanced by scale. And now Steffi has used Defeat a Scale and is making a roll with enhanced by scale. So there are 6 dice in the collateral pool right now. We have 4 more before it empties.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, I believe you can choose to access the collateral pool at any time to just sort of like bleed it off. Am I correct in that?
I don't think so.
No, it's until it reaches 10. Never mind.
Until it resets, yep. It has to charge up until it empties. And whoever fills it up rolls the pool, but Neall gets to pick what happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
if some action should knock it above 10, everything that ticks it up 1 more after it hits 10 adds an enhancement to that roll.
Yes.
Is there a reason we would want to reduce the number of dice added to the collateral pool?
Well, if you want to avoid collateral damage, if you walk into the Vale, which is a very heavily populated urban environment, there's a lot of opportunity for collateral damage. Here in the Asphodel Meadows, it's actually it's not all that bad.
Yeah.
But you could potentially accidentally break a portion of the underworld and open a rift to a different part. So this
not
is
my underworld.
Yeah, so this is an area where it's the Asphodel Meadows is very close, metaphysically speaking, to Tartarus. So you could accidentally blow a hole in the Greek underworld and let a whole bunch of bad people into the Asphodel Fields if you're not careful.
Future problems.
Yeah, who cares, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Bunch of ancient Greek losers.
So I also have an act called They're Everywhere. The field you're fighting in becomes divine territory. When an enemy enters divine territory, you have the option to make 1 attack against them. The centaurs, are they already in that territory if I activated that?
No, but if they try to cross into or like try to ride into the temple itself, the temple grounds, then you can make an attack against them. And you'll just basically like zip over there and just wham.
Okay, because I can do that even if I've already made an attack this round.
Cool.
Okay.
Duly noted.
So yeah, I'm going to try to stab this guy.
All right, make your attack.
Well, everybody is still talking.
Make your attack roll against his defense, and after that, everyone's going to roll initiative.
So 10s explode, right?
10s do explode.
5. I've got 5 successes on that enhancement thing that you mentioned earlier.
Yes, so
I rolled 5.
So that's 10 successes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you very easily beat his defensive 4 because he did not activate any of his qualities or flares just yet.
And he didn't have the time.
Yep. So If you wish, you can actually, because you beat him by 1 on scale, you can purchase the inflict damage stunt twice. And you can actually do a critical hit because you have 4 successes remaining.
Okay. Yeah, I want to do that then.
Okay. Go ahead and describe how you slice them.
I don't actually know how the system works. I should have checked that. So Donnie is still talking to him, and he reaches over to kiss him, and I slap Donnie back, and then with my other hand, I try to drive my grass cutter into his abdomen.
Okay.
And I'm just aiming for all the way through, just because my intention is to get this over with as quickly as possible. So I'm going for an all-out attack, and I'll see how it ends.
Okay. Ixion's face softens for a moment as Donnie sort of comes forward for the kiss.
Sorry.
He's angry and he's hurt, but yeah, maybe there's still something there. Maybe it's okay. His eyes half close.
Oh no.
As the two do that.
That's
There's a
sad.
terrible wet sound as your blade pierces his sternum and pops out his back.
Very
you feel
sad.
it scrape along his vertebrae a little bit.
Oh.
He coughs a little bit, with a little bit of blood just sort of flickers on the grass cutting blade. With a shout, he shoves you, ripping himself off the blade, and he sort of pinwheels down the steps of the temple, clutching his sternum. He takes a knee at the bottom, and you see that he's bleeding a little bit from the mouth, and his teeth are all limbed with blood. And he says, "Fucking kill him! Kill them all!" So we are going to roll for initiative.
Yes.
By the way, you have severely wounded him.
That was my intention, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you and your exes. So initiative in this system is?
Initiative is going to be your cunning plus your close combat skill. It should be on your character sheet as well.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, everyone just let me know what they got. I'll put it in the chat.
You can use any combat skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be close, obviously be close combat for you to go.
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be athletics.
Still sevens?
And your divinity dice don't matter for rolling initiative because you can't fail it.
Okay.
Oh.
So I have 4.
I have 6.
Oh, nice.
I have 5.
What about you, Donnie?
5.
Okay. We're going to roll for the centaurs. Or a group of mooks. Okay. Well, that sucked.
For them or for us?
So how this works is that Horace won the initiative. So Horace, you can generally go first, or you can cede your turn to someone else if you want to. At the end of your turn, whenever you've taken your action, you choose who next to pass it on to, generally as determined by the group. And all of you go before the centaurs and Ixion. So I
nice.
have a feeling, if you don't want to wait for next turn for all of them to try to cross over and get at you, and for Steffi to murder all of them, then...
Okay. So I'm going to say, Yokio, finish him off. You go.
All right. You go.
Thanks, that was the plan.
Yep. So, okay. They do not have scale. And you have scale 3. So whatever you do to them, you can sort of narrate what happens, and you don't even need to roll.
I was going to use captive industry on that particular thing since I've taken command to say go.
What does that do again?
I get reduces the difficulty of all actions taken by the group based on a successful knack skill roll. For every 2 successes, reduce the difficulty of all actions taken by the group by 1.
Okay, roll your leadership to activate that.
All right, where are we at here? Okay, just the leadership.
Yeah, just the knack skill.
Okay. 1 success.
Cool. So it's reduced by 1.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, he has successfully that will be your action. So you're passing the next turn to Yukiko.
Right.
Okay. So Yukiko.
I want to use biggest threat because I don't want Ixio to try to kill Donnie.
Okay.
And I speed forward down the hill. He is my target. So yeah, but the temple still counts as my divine territory, right? So if somebody tries to enter that, I can make an attack at them later. But for now, I'm going to focus on the ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
And we are going to have a conversation about exes. I'm remembering them, like maybe keep a black book or something. So I've got 4 successes. Yeah, I rolled 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay.
And I still have that legendary blade, undefeated blade thing going on.
It's true he's got scale 2 for defensive. You still beat him. So that takes your total number of that. So that's a scale 1 over him. That's 2 plus 2 successes. So that's enough to knock him down with a knockdown feat and also inflict 1 level of damage upon him.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, that was a bit of a downer. So you simply like raise your blade up and hammer it down and slice into him. He screams and sort of falls in a heap just over on the ground. He's out. You have taken him out. You can choose to try to kill him if you want, but you definitely do have a feeling that for demigods it doesn't always take.
Yeah, and I don't know if Donnie has any lingering fear. He didn't remember the guy, but whatever. We can talk about it later.
Donnie kisses a lot of guys he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad.
Aww.
So, but I make eye
he's
contact
got a point. We all know that.
Yeah. I mean, we were both like, if he wasn't trying to kill you, we would have been like, fine, you can drag him around. I do make eye contact with the nearest centaur, and I'm like, this is your one chance to leave.
The centaurs have pulled out automatic weapons and they're now like leveling them at you, but they're definitely intimidated. Now might be a good chance for Donnie to shine a little bit and actually like, no, guys, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna again pull all eyes toward me, and go down to where he's kind of laying in a heap, and very gently pick him up. And bring him to probably the closest centaur and sort of hand him off, forcing him hopefully to put down his gun. You're like, you need to go take care of him. This is the important thing. So you need to go.
Okay, I'd say that's an empathy roll.
Yeah.
What attribute do you think would that fall under? You're sort of trying to like forcefully say it? Or are you trying to just get him the hell out of here?
I think I'm trying to. I mean, there's definitely manipulation in there.
Let's say manipulation then.
Yeah. I'm definitely playing on their loyalty to him. 8. 8 total, which is good because there were a whole bunch of 1s otherwise.
Cool. 8 successes. Okay.
Wow.
You immediately pick out the head centaur the guy who's got the most patches on his cut. And he levels his gun at you. It's a submachine gun, but he doesn't fire. And you just sort of gently, wordlessly hand over Ixion, and then you say, take care of him. That's what's important. And it's not often a hardened centaur biker cries a little bit, but a single tear rolls down his cheek.
Into his beard?
Yeah. He'll remember this. This is important. And it's important to remember the things that are important.
Yes.
So he makes a hand gesture, and a lot of them ride off. There's only a patch of bloody ground to mark the battle that just occurred, and Yukiko ruthlessly slaughtering a...
I whirl around and I just level the blade at Doniel. You need a black book.
Hey?
It's kind of every single... We can't go anywhere without running into one of your exes and you don't even remember them. How often?
Okay, but it'd be a little bit awkward if I was like, hang on, I gotta look you up. So I agree. I also need another method.
So
okay.
I will note that
also a lot of them want to kill you, so it's kind of dramatic.
I will note that Donnie has wireless interface, which allows you to access any electronic device that's sort of on your person. So you could just immediately write their name and information down into your phone. And the fact that you haven't done that this entire time kind of speaks to the fact that you're never gonna.
Yeah.
There's a lot about you, Donnie.
I'm complex.
So maybe we should be less concerned with who Donnie fucked and more concerned with finding that book that we're trying to find.
Right. Okay, so, yeah.
Rose is very
The veil.
smart.
You said this way, right? I start
Definitely
walking into
back
Tartarus.
this way. I'm
Not
pointing
the way we were
from,
going.
away from Tartarus.
Wait, you said it was this way, like before the X showed
Well,
up.
this isn't my underworld, so.
Okay, fine.
You know, when we mentioned the veil, did that guy did his eyes go in any particular direction when we mentioned the veil? Look sideways or over to the left?
Ooh.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, they did. He looked over towards a spot just about northeast of here. If you can determine direction, which you totally can't. But you'd say it's...
The way he looked.
It's northeasterly. Yeah,
It
that's
kind of
got
looked
to be.
that way.
Yeah.
Why don't we give that a shot?
All right. Several hours later, there starts to be a wet sucking sound under your feet. And
Another one of Donnie's friends.
the smell of the place becomes wetter and marshier, and eventually you move past the asphodel plants and you come to a number of reeds that are out there. There looks to be a couple of weather-beaten, barely seaworthy boats just sort of tied to an old dock over here. But this would be it. You know it, Rose. This has got to be the way to get into the Vale. The only question is, are you going to let Donnie pilot the boat again?
No.
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 Are any of you better at boats? By any stretch of the imagination?
One of my boons is water, but no, I don't think it has anything to do with boats. If we want to swim, I can be our leader.
I think Donnie might actually be the best pilot out of all of you.
Yeah, that's a sad thing to say, but
Horace, please. Any points of pilot, please.
No.
They didn't let you drive the whatever. It's not a cop car because you're a marshal. Do they have a? Never mind.
I can drive a car. It's a boat.
didn't stop me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Donnie?
Yeah.
Somebody should have, huh?
Well, I
Donnie
guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
All right, Donnie. Let's see if you can just get us through this time.
I will try very, very hard. So I have pilot of 2. I think this would be dexterity. I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm.
No, do we have any momentum left I can steal?
Yeah, I think we have 4 momentum left.
Yeah, I think we were down to 3, and then it went back up to 5, and then I took 1. So yeah, I think we have 4.
Yeah.
Let me steal 1 just in case.
And just for everyone in the chat, please remain active. There will be a giveaway at the end of the session. Thanks to our friends at Onyx Path and Gehenna Gaming. We'll be giving away a copy of the Dystopia Rising RPG, which uses the story path system, which you guys are seeing right now. And Dystopia Rising is pretty cool. It's about post-apocalyptic zombies, maybe? I think so.
Yeah, it works out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, post-apocalyptic psychic zombies.
And the rebuilding of civilization.
Yeah. So, yeah. But, Lauren?
That was a 3.
3. Okay. This is way ricketier than Sharon's boat, but if that bony old codger can do it, so can you.
Karen hated
Hold on.
Christmas the whole Christmas season.
So you very nearly capsize several times, but Donnie keeps you on the straight and narrow.
Not a phrase used very often with Donnie.
No, it's the straightest thing he's ever done. So eventually the sky darkens a little bit. You can't tell if it's because night is falling in the asphodel fields or something else, but eventually the sky grows dark and you're barely able to see the water around you. You sail on for hours more. How long has it been since you slept? You can't quite remember. Maybe you slept for days at the side of the river. You don't know. There's no way to tell. But you've spent at least a full day down here, and you still don't feel tired or aching at all.
Can I just try to sleep?
Sure.
Okay. I lay down in the boat and I attempt to sleep.
After a few minutes, you all hear a gentle snoring from Yukiko.
Oh, that worked. I'm brilliant.
Nice.
So, but none of the rest of you feel fatigued. And as you sort of look around, you hear Yukiko's snore sort of echo off the windows a little bit. And she echo off the sides there. You're no longer in a marshy wetland. It looks like you're almost on a canal. The acoustics are all wrong for a marshland. And as you look, you see a light in the distance. It grows closer, faster than it really has any right to. The water is now rushing much more rapidly, pulling you towards it. In the distance, a city rises in front of you.
All right.
Give me a second. Okay. The city is vast. It's more vast than any earthly city in the world. The sun, the stars, the moon, they never shine down here. There's inky blackness all stretching throughout the sky. Instead, every light you see is neon, street lights, ambient light of windows and doorways in vast apartment complexes full of the dead. Lightning occasionally flashes across a great emptiness, illuminating nothing beyond it, simply sitting up there in the sky. When lightning flashes around clouds, you can see the shape of them, but you see nothing up there, just skittering across the inky blackness. As you sail into the Vale, you pass under bridges. You see people sort of milling about and going about their business. Hundreds of them, thousands, millions of them. The city is full of people who did not believe in the gods and are now here. Rose, You know a bit about the Vale. You've been here before. Everyone in the world's aware of the existence of goddesses, and scions, but not everyone worships one pantheon in particular. And even if they do, they don't always adhere to the religion of the pantheon. So they don't, if they don't pass through the trials of their particular underworld, they'll end up in the Vale, and that's a neutral place. You see people in fashions of gray, black, and brown, even more muted than the asphodel fields. The fashions range from Roman Republic era togas and traditional Korean hanboks to the jeans and sweatshirt and uniform of college kids. Nothing's branded, embellished, or even unique. Even the fine cut suits you see on the occasional businessman are charcoal. So you eventually come to rest along a small little dock. And as you disembark from the ship and sort of walk up to the main street level, you find yourselves in front of a noodle shop with a smiling cartoon woman on it. Look like a smiling cartoon old lady, and a lot of Chinese characters that you can't quite parse.
Since I'm an experienced traveler, I have that knack. I'm a liminal. I've got all this going for me.
Yeah.
I've been here before. Do I understand like the significance of this? Like where to go? What I'm looking for here? Or can I like roll to piece together?
So
what trail to follow?
So you can't die here in the Vale,
right?
But the inhabitants are souls or shades, but they're solid. They can eat, drink, love, or breathe if they want to. They just can't harm each other down here. There's no pain, and everyone's immortal. So there's no economy. Things materialize when they're needed. Like a restaurant always has a stocked kitchen. A library usually has the book for which one is searching. So needing is kind of an arbitrary rule to this place. But you are also mortal, and you are all very hungry. And there is a noodle shop right here with food right for the taking.
All right. Also, well, since I'll push through the little curtain. Is it one of those like little noodle shop ramen stands that's got like the curtain and the stools at the counter type deal? Take the chopsticks from the bowl. Come in, and since I can communicate with basically any dead. Is there a little old lady who's running the place?
Yeah, little old Chinese woman running the place.
And even though Rose does not speak a lick of Chinese, because Chinese isn't a language, but whether she speaks Mandarin or Cantonese, whatever, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't speak either of those languages. Rose sits down, and because I can communicate with all dead, requests a bowl of noodles in a language that she can understand.
Okay. Within a few seconds, steaming hot bowls of noodles appear in front of all of you. If you want to take a seat and begin eating.
Before, yeah.
Right. Before we eat anything, are there any laws about eating food in the underworld, meaning you're stuck there?
No, this isn't some tricksy underworld like those jerk-ass Greeks. All right, there's no loopholes or stuff waiting to gotcha you. The Vale's fine. You can eat whatever you want here.
Okay. Yeah, that was my follow-up question, because I was like, there's no way that Rose would not know that.
Every other underworld agrees that those rules are bullshit.
That's just bullshit, man.
Yeah. That doesn't fly.
I just had a nap. Now I'm hungry. I'm eating the noodles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yukiko, the moment you start drinking the broth, the last lingering fog over your memory vanishes. Just woof.
Wait, so do I not remember what the tome was that we're looking for? Or just still a tome? How much did Horace tell us?
I assume Horace told you everything. Horace, did you tell them everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason to keep it from us.
So
we're all
Horace,
together.
Yeah, Horace told you absolutely everything. Okay. And if any of you drink the broth as well, your memories are suddenly clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, might as well eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I knew him from.
Those memories.
So, yes. So, The Sheshat, the goddess of wisdom and the written word, warned you of a powerful magical ritual that was being conducted by a group of rogue gods called the Keepers of the World. And she said that there was a Greek mathematician who did not believe in the gods and denied their existence, who was calculating some certain arcane geometries that would be useful to this. She went by the name of Hypatia of Alexandria. Now, Hypatia was killed before she could finish her work, but Seshat had it on good authority from down here in the Vale that this is where she ended up, and she probably finished her calculations down here. So the book would not fall under Seshat's purview, but it would exist here, and so thus you are being sent to pick it up.
And by pick it up, are we supposed to be just, hey, we're here to pick this up, or is this we're stealing it?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B. However, how Seshat wanted you to get the book was not clear.
But she doesn't have a prior arrangement with anyone or the mathematician to pick it up.
You know, she didn't say.
I guess we'll find out. Okay.
So, who has the best occultum out of all of you?
Mine's 3.
I've got 2.
Definitely not me.
So I guess it's me.
Okay. Give me a resolve and an occult roll.
Cool. All right. Now this is a roll I've made after I've achieved a divinity die. So resolve 4, occult 3. My mana 2 special, I assume, also continues to not apply, as this is not my brand of bullshit. All right, well, that is only 1 success. The roll did not fail, though the divinity die did not turn up a success.
Okay.
So not a mortal. This is a neutral state, not a mortal failure, not a catastrophic success either.
Good.
Yep. Just 1 success. So.
So that's not enough. You can either choose to fail this utterly and not have any idea, or you can choose to take a further complication later.
I'll take a further complication later.
Sounds good. Okay, so it's weird that your memory just suddenly cleared the moment you sipped from the broth. Right?
Right.
And
memory broth.
Yeah, you remember this isn't your death sense is tingling. And the woman in front of you isn't a shade. Mm-hmm. She is something else. You can feel, the presence of death dwelling deep within her. And you're reminded of the Chinese underworld, where there's a bridge where the souls there need to cross over to reincarnate. They, kind of like the river of Leith, need to drink a super forgetfulness. Mm-hmm. So as you're staring at this old woman, she sort of smiles at you, and she says to you, without really you understanding what she's saying, she says, well, if I could brew something to make people forget, I can brew something to make them remember too.
Fair point. Thank you for the food.
Was that conversation only between the two of them?
I assume nobody else can understand her, as she's not speaking a language.
Would any of you speak Cantonese?
Bet I do not.
Okay, so no, you do not understand her.
So, can I scent the divine or something to sense the connection that she has between perhaps the Shen underworld and the Vale?
Yeah, you can scent the divine. She's definitely Shen. Okay. She's definitely a goddess.
Okay.
You can ask her what she's doing here.
I will. In straight up bluntly asking, what are you doing here seems rude, but I'm accustomed to this. I know how to talk to the dead.
Right.
So I ask it in
But she's not the dead.
She's not, but she's associated with
Yeah.
this liminal space. So I think I certainly know how to phrase it in such a way that doesn't sound like I'm like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? So yeah, I ask very politely, like, what is your role here, or what's going on?
Every deity of the liminal spaces feels a need to preserve the independence of this place. I'm far from the first god to moonlight here. Eshu and Hermes do it all the time. So I'm just here to help wayward souls. And that doesn't apply to those who are only dead.
I will ask her name.
Meng Po.
And since I glance over and notice the blank looks of confusion on my my band's face, I will translate our conversation and provide them with a summary of what just happened, up to and including why these delicious pork bowls have restored our memory.
Thank you, ma'am. To the lady.
She bows politely.
So we are looking for, what was the name? Do we know the name of the book we're looking for specifically?
No, but you know the dead person who you're looking for.
Okay. Remind Monica, because she forgot.
Hypatia of Alexandria.
Hypatia.
One more time?
Hypatia.
Hypatia. Okay. Yes, we're looking for Hypatia of Alexandria and this particular tome of wisdom. Do you know where we might be able to find either of these things?
She nods and she says, many have forgotten the name of Hypatia in the world, but she is still renowned among the philosophers who too often find themselves in this realm. She gives you directions to what she calls a great forum of philosophy and debate that still goes on, attached to several libraries that are far more massive than any in the world.
She's giving like step by step, like turn left at this place directions. So Rose is like got her notepad app out and is like, okay,
yeah,
all right, right at the giant statue of Cerberus, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
She also gives you the Wi-Fi password.
Okay, all right.
For the public Wi-Fi, just so you don't use your data down here.
Yeah. Underworld data costs twice as much.
I mean, it's a racket. It really honestly is.
You have to have a special Terra Incognita plan for that.
Yeah, the Iceer actually dredged up a little tiny Terra Incognita and set up a cell phone tower on it that the dwarves worked on. But they charge exorbitant rates.
Yeah.
You got to find a good third party that connects to that cell tower so you can have good Terra Incognita service.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Scion, everyone listening. This is what we deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have the directions written down in my notepad file for everyone and the Wi-Fi password. Does the Veil have like just public access Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna connect to it right away.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna tell everybody else too. You're like, oh, don't use your Terra Incognita roaming. Connect to the Wi-Fi. It's everywhere.
Yeah. If any of you have cell phones, you can connect to the Wi-Fi.
Absolutely taking a selfie of all of us in this noodle place. Posting on Twitter.
While we're walking around and doing this sort of stuff, I want to look to see if any of the dead look out of place, like like they really do belong in the Asphodel fields.
Oh yeah, you definitely see a bunch of Greeks around there, but none of them look pretty much out of place. Most of them, you can't quite tell how you would suss out someone's irreligiosity from simply looking at them, but to the extent that you can, because you have the judge calling.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really. Yeah, these people didn't believe in anything.
Yeah.
That's not wrong. That they believe in many things. They didn't believe in the gods.
Yeah, and in particular, they didn't believe in the Greek gods there. So
Yeah. So you think you're okay, but you have a good feeling about this philosopher's form. If there's any group of people who are insufferable and a-religious, it's
and
philosophers.
wasted their times in their
Yeah.
time in life. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If we have free Wi-Fi down here, could we see if there's like a Bluetooth connection to, I don't know, a telephone belonging to Hypatia? Like, can we ping her somehow instead of walking around?
Yeah, actually, you probably do have white pages here.
Hey, well, okay, well, Rose, look her up. I mean, check the Underworld Facebook.
Use the dead pages.
Yeah, check Underworld WhatsApp. Look for her.
Yeah, so there is a WhatsApp for the Veil. There's something like 3.2 billion users down here.
Yeah.
Search for Hypatia, search for Alexandria.
That's why we have an app.
Yeah.
Rose has no dots of technology. So you don't need a whole lot to like surf Facebook, but this is gonna take. You can see very clearly that this is gonna take a minute if you let her keep doing this.
Donnie, I think you got
about Donnie.
I'm gonna just like stand over Rose's shoulder and you know, while I'm also on my phone, I'm also like
doing something completely different.
Totally mansplaining the Facebook.
Of course, and of course, Donnie is good at hooking up with strangers on the internet. I mean,
exactly.
Not letting them see which apps I have open exactly, but
Yukiko, you have the best technology out of anyone here.
I don't have any.
I'm gonna see if I can find Hypatia on the local WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Like the next door, like Veil next door.
The Veil next door.
Search for Hypatia. I'm gonna use my technology and I'm gonna.
I'd say this is probably cunning.
I'm fine with cunning. Any chance I can use intellect for this one to?
Yeah, okay. You're just blowing right through it.
I'm trying to set up proper search parameters for this one.
Sure.
Oh wait, that's a lot of exploding die. Oh wow, that's 5 successes.
Yeah. You find Hypatia real quick. You can text her if you want to do the millennial thing of not.
Yeah, I text her like, "Hey, we're in the Veil looking for you. We need to borrow a book. It has to do with some evil god shit. Can we meet somewhere? We're at the noodle shop." And
she's like, "Oh, Meng Pose? Yeah, sure. Be there in a couple hours."
Uh-huh.
All right. A couple hours later, you are greeted by a tall blonde woman in I forget what the actual like robe of the Greeks was called, the sort of proto toga.
Right.
But anyway, she's wearing one of those.
Khitan or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
oh yeah, Hypatia, we chatted. This is my friend Horace. He's looking for a book for a thing. Horace.
Think of a thing.
Okay, Horace. Your judge sense is tingling. Hypatia is definitely an escapee from the Asphodel Fields.
So, well, what we're looking for is a book you were writing, and we need to get that.
She goes, "What was the topic of the book?"
Well, what was the topic of the book?
It was an arcane symbolic ritual that had to do with a god called Imhotep.
It's the Imhotep ritual.
She blinks and she says, "I only finished that a couple of years ago. I don't... How did..." She says, "Oh, but why would you need it? It's all pure theoretical mathematics anyway. It's has to do with sacred numbers and geometry."
Exactly, and our patron here wants to take it and make sure that it's safe. Apparently, this sacred geometry is something that can be used for harm.
She says, I can't imagine how the book would be any safer up in the world than it is here.
Well, if we could find you.
She says, I'm sorry. I don't even know your names. I just met you. I'm not gonna just hand over a book of sacred geometry to all of you without
like
some
it's
kind of
time for Donnie to turn on the charm.
Yep. I will kind of step forward and be like, hey, it's very nice to meet you. You're right. You don't know our names. I'm Donnie. Very pleased to meet you. Put out my hand.
She sort of gently takes your hand.
I am turning on all the charm, including, was it fast friends?
Yeah, but also you do have lover's intuition.
Oh, right. I will use that.
Okay.
That is smart. So that detects what is important to her or someone that she cares about. Hold
on. You gain a brief understanding of the target's romantic life.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. You can ask any question from the list on your sheet for free, or you can roll your knack skill, which would probably be empathy, to ask one per more success.
Okay. I'm going to ask who she's close to.
No one. It's a lonely life that Hypatia of Alexandria leads in the Vale.
See, and that's the problem, is being as you strike me as someone who just has you can make such deep connections with people, but here you haven't made them, have you?
Her mouth sort of opens up for a moment and she goes, no, I guess I haven't.
Wouldn't it be better if you could?
It's been 1,600 years.
That's a very long time.
Yeah.
I think we could help you with that. I think, not only would I certainly be willing to, I would love to spend more time with you. You're a fascinating person. And perhaps I could glean some tiny bit of your immense knowledge. There's definitely a whole bunch of Donnie just kind of throwing stuff at the wall to see what she responds to. Because he's definitely not smart enough to get the stuff.
Is Hypatia still standing, or is she sitting down?
She's still standing.
Okay. I order her a bowl of noodles.
Yeah. So just, Lauren, just to sort of set the stage of what exactly is happening to you, Hypatia is probably one of the smartest and most accomplished women to have ever lived. Yep. She lived, she died around 415 AD, and in a time of incredible patriarchy and incredible incredible bias against women. She was renowned for her brilliance and her success at things. Yes. And she's an icon for women's rights. You are a handsome, stupid man. And so this is every bad teen movie where the jock is just hitting on the pretty smart girl.
Yeah. And Donnie's aware of that to an extent, yeah. I think. Like he's like, I am completely out of my league here. And
yes, damn, I'm good looking.
I'm pretty.
Yeah, but like every pretty nerd who only needs to take off her glasses to be revealed as beautiful, Hypatia's falling for it. Mm-hmm. She's falling real hard.
Why don't we where are you in relation to here? Do you have a library we could see? Because
yeah, and my living quarters are right by there.
I'm standing there with two bowls of noodles. Donnie, rude. Got food. You're being rude.
Why don't we have some dinner and then we can go, and I would love to see your library. I'm sure it is as beautiful as you are.
You have a lively conversation with her that the rest of you are just like, what the
Yes, can't wait till it's over.
Donnie, most of what she says goes over your head, just completely goes over it. But you still make her laugh. And by the end of it, she's come to the conclusion that you're pretty but dumb, but definitely enough for...
I'm also trying to include my much smarter than me friends in the conversation, too. I kind of want her to be charmed by all of us.
I think the rest of us are only marginally smarter than you.
I'm very smart.
Oh, sorry, Yukiko.
She definitely likes Yukiko. Yukiko is a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, or other woman or anything.
I just need my sword and my
sword.
I
need the sword.
Yukiko has a sacred ancient sword. That's all. That's her.
That's all really anybody needs.
But Rose is also an artist, like a sculptor too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that seems to be a thing, like the relationship between mathematics and art and all of that. And this is totally Donnie just again talking out his ass, but trying to find that connection between them.
Horace. This is finally something you care about. When you start talking about math, you perk up a little bit because you have taken several courses in ballistics, and physics is a small passion of yours.
Jesus, I like the way bullets ricochet.
Yeah.
So strong opening line from Horace. I like the way bullets ricochet.
I don't know if you know, there's like a math in there.
So Hypatia is charmed by all of you.
So at one point,
really hasn't talked to people for a while.
Yeah. So at one point, when Hypatia is either talking to Horace or Rose, I just lean over to Donnie and I'm very quietly. I'm like, if you break her heart, I'm gonna tie you up and I'm gonna toss you back to where Ixio is. You be nice to this woman.
Okay, I understood.
And then, when someone else is talking to her,
writing notes.
I lean over to Donnie and say, "You be nice to this woman. Break her heart. I swear, I will punch you in the back of the head so many times."
Rose, do you want to get in on this?
No, because Rose is definitely a useless art lesbian, and a tall, pretty lady is talking to her.
Oh,
So, Rose is unavailable for this conversation right now.
I will actually look at Horace and Yukiko and kind of point between the two of them and be like, huh?
Uh-huh. Seen that before.
Okay.
Like when we said, "You sure you know how to pilot this boat?"
Look, I might not know how to pilot a boat, but I know how to get two people who share interests together.
That's perfect because Rose is like a baby goddess of death. And the other one is dead. It's like,
it works.
It's so good.
At one point, the three of us are just standing behind Hypatia while she's eating noodles and Rose is talking, and we're behind her.
You got this.
All right.
You got this.
So you take a sort of monorail that's in the city back to where Hypatia is. They only have public transit here. Yeah, there's no real like streets or any. I mean, there's streets, but they're all walking streets. There's no cars or anything here, no trucks. It's all public transportation, basically, on trains and stuff. You go what must be, several miles or so over to another densely packed urban portion of the city. This one definitely has a lot more Greek influences to it. You see just a grand forum, the Philosopher's Colosseum, and a number of other sites that Hypatia excitedly points out to Rose and Donnie, and all of you immediately forget. So finally, you come to a massive grand building where Hypatia says she lives and her library is kept. So we walk in there, and her living quarters are fairly modest. There's not many modern amenities. She was born long before she ever really developed a taste for them. But there are many, many, many books. And you, as she quickly tidies up the place, Donnie and Rose, you both notice that she very quickly hides a set of trashy romance novels.
I read any of them?
Yes, they are the trashiest.
I'm not going to tell her that I saw them, but I'm tucking that away.
Are they straight romance or gay romance?
Ooh, let's say a mix. So
We stand up by icon.
yeah.
I'll say that for the most part, Rose is too taken with her and the charmingness of all of this to even notice that happened. All right, so are we digging through this place are we going through her library in a library montage of looking for this book, or is she going to give it to us?
So we are coming up on the end of time. So we're going to cut to the chase. Rose and Donnie, you have both charmed her enough that she simply gives you the book that you need.
That makes life easier.
Yeah. Now, you do have a decision to make, though. You promised the judges of the underworld you would bring anyone back from who belonged to the Asphodel Fields.
What I said was that I would talk to them and try to convince them to go.
Exactly. You said you would try, which you can't do if you're unconscious. So,
But I will talk to her when we're about to leave. So, if move forward, whatever happens between now and when we're about to leave. And then explain to her, using the code of heaven, that this is a truth, that she should be where she's supposed to be. She may not have personally believed it, but it is what is for her and her people. So you really belong. I don't know that she belongs in Asphodel, to be honest, but she definitely belongs in the Greek underworld.
Well, from what she says, she was a pagan and she did believe it, but her tolerance of Christianity is what caused her to be exiled into the Asphodel Fields, basically, rather than being let into Elysium. And so she rejected that, and she rejected so many other things, and trudged over, refusing to give into the drudgery of the place until she found the boat, and then she sailed to the Vale.
Okay, because also having been there very briefly, Yukiko was just convinced that the Greek underworld is definitely in the top 3 worst underworlds.
There's some worse underworlds.
Yeah, but I haven't been to those.
Right.
Of the underworlds I visited, this is the worst.
I'd be willing to talk to the judges again on your behalf, because I don't think you wasted your time in your life.
Yeah, at any point, do I think Horace is going to be able to talk her into going to the Greek underworld?
Probably not. She'd have to be dragged back there.
Then I'm going to let him talk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to drag her back, because I didn't say I was going to do that.
Could we possibly consider an option where we find her a more suitable underworld to go to?
Well, that's outside of what the agreement was with the judges.
Yeah, but we're making a new agreement with Hypatia.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We can do anything we want.
If she would be so inclined.
Yeah, if you think there's a place for her somewhere else, I don't care.
If she goes to Rose's underworld, that makes the whole long-distance relationship much easier.
Yeah.
She'd be somewhere where she can connect with people.
Out of character, I don't know much about the Manitou underworld or how it's portrayed, at least in Demigod.
It is a dreary and cold place. Actually, it's actually not that bad. It's sort of like a big forest. But Hypatia doesn't want to go, and she kind of after you all satisfy her intellect after a long night of engaging conversation, she sort of this is a little bit of Wikipedia reading, but Hypatia was a lifelong virgin, and often rejected suitors claiming that they didn't really love her. They only loved beauty. And she was exceedingly beautiful. So that's good. So she basically wanted a good evening of looking at a pretty boy and talking to a useless art lesbian, as you phrased it.
Yes.
And she's good.
Yeah, we totally respect her asexuality.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got what I came for, and thank you all so much for your help. And thank you, Hypatia.
So, okay. If we had ended this, if we were at this point an hour ago, you guys would fight the Colossus of Rhodes, but since we're not there, we're ending.
Yeah, like you do.
I'll have to leave that for a future Scion session for the viewers.
Yeah. We stab the Colossus of Rhodes while he isn't looking.
You do.
In the chat, Thomas Martin has won the free book.
Congratulations.
Thomas, can I get the quick email to shoot them into the chat? Can you toss that in the chat? Okay. Thomas, you want to email vorpaltales@gmail.com and let them know that you won the free book, and we'll get that to you from drive-thru. All right. Thank you all for joining my little demigod sneak peek. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope all the viewers enjoyed seeing a little bit of the casual miracles that demigods can throw around.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't have a lot of context with like a lot of the other people who are far more familiar with the system to know how much more we were doing, but I thought it was incredibly flavorful.
Yeah.
Thanks for running, Neil.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
All right.
Had a good time.
Thank you all so much for playing.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Special secret thing about demigod. God, I'm already so open with my secrets anyway that I can't think of one when one comes up. I definitely think the Veil is probably my favorite underworld. I like it because it's an original creation for Scion based on the metaphysics that we created and based on the way things are. Oh, nice.
Some sketches. Nothing near finished, but I'm getting the pieces together finally.
Very nice. I like them.
Demigod symbols.
So those are the Pantheon sigils that Rich is showing off. All right.
Yeah. Hopefully by the end of the week, depending on how exhausted I am after all this, I'll at least have gotten the initial sketches done, and then it's all assemblage.
Cool.
Very cool. All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
If you want,